Welcome. Episode 173 of TRJ, The Running Journey for June 11th, 2026. I'm Rob, and this episode is I guess it's a race recap, except it's not a race. It's a first ever backcountry backpack experience recap for me. I did the Fundy Footpath over 3 days, which was like a 22-hour hike. And I talk about that in this. I've never done this. Charlie's never done this. So we get into a little bit of the details. For those of you that have backpacked, great. You're going to love how little I know about this. For those of you that have never done it, you'll get a sense for how much I really enjoyed it and appreciated it. And maybe it's exactly what I needed, a bit of a reset in the bush by myself with Louis Cormier, I should mention. So we're going to start off this episode with a quick interview with Louis Cormier at the base, at the trailhead, at the end of our hike. Then Charlie and I are going to chat. And then at the end of this episode, we talk a bit about Project 4, our belief in ourselves for pacing the Manitoba Marathon. I'm gonna lay it out for you. It's not high. We don't have a ton of belief right now. We do have a whole week to get ready for this marathon. So how hard could it be? Marathons are pretty easy, right? No, that's a joke. You guys know that we know that marathons are hard. That's why we're fearing the pacing duty. And then Monday, big event Monday, Devil May Care Brewing. If you're in Winnipeg, cocktails 6:30, podcast recording at 7. We're going to do a live event where we're going to meet all of the Project 4 members. We're going to ask them how their training went. And we're also going to take questions from you, from the audience, about the Manitoba Marathon. Anything you're asking: nutrition, hydration, pacing, mileage, weather, bathrooms, setup, you name it. We've done this race many times. We're happy to help. All right, guys, this is a great episode. Enjoy. Hey guys, just finished the Fundy Footpath Trail with my buddy Louis Cormier, Acadian, author of From Addiction to Fitness, a book I read, which I then reached out to Louis years ago, told him how much he had inspired me. And then I met him at the Boston Marathon. He was running the Boston Marathon that year. We exchanged phone numbers, emails, we started chatting. He came, ran a few times with me. He told me, you have to do the Fundy Footpath Trail. How many times have you done it?
Maybe 10, 15, 20 times. I'm not sure, not counting, but a lot. And I enjoy it. I love it. It's the best trail in the world.
It's the best trail I've ever done. I think it's the only trail I've ever done. I learned a lot of words, learned a lot of concepts out there. I learned about PUD, a pointless up and down. I learned about trail magic.
Yeah.
Someone leaves you food or in a box, or what else can trail magic be? Like just good luck.
Trail magic is just meeting people, helping you out. Anything that can help you out on the trail. It's trail magic. Even meeting the people that we met last night.
Yeah.
We gave them trail magic just by giving them advice of what to do. They were concerned about the crossing on the Goose Creek.
You got to cross at low tide at Goose Creek.
So we give them trail magic. That's anything like that is trail magic. But nice food is trail magic.
What brings you back here?
Nature, the relaxation. It's serene. It's unreal. It's every time I come here, I go home a better man. Whether it rain, shine, and I love taking new people on the footpath. It's just everybody gets to see what I see.
Lots of opportunity for introspection. Lots of opportunity with your thoughts. We did it in about, I think our total time was about 21 hours and a bit. Probably our hiking time, 19 or something like that. So we did it in 3 days, we had one hard day. Yesterday was a longer day. But I mean, we started at noon on day one, and today we finished at 2:30.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we are moving.
We slept in this morning.
Someone slept in. I was just out cold.
I thought you were dead. I had to check.
I woke up at like 5:30 and I was like, I guess I'm up for the night. There was lightning or something at like 5:30 or 6. And I said, I guess I'm up for the night. And I said, let's see if I can go back to sleep. And I tried to go back to sleep and I fell asleep again. And I was out 10 plus hours of sleep last night. 10 hours in a tent on an air mattress in the middle of the bush.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Listening to the brook.
We were right by the brook. It was just so peaceful. The first night at Little Salmon River, there was also
and there was a nice brook, and we could see the Little Salmon River. Is a really nice brook, nice spot.
What's your favorite spot?
Telegraph Brook or Wolf Brook. 50-50 between Telegraph Brook and Wolf Brook.
Wolf Brook, we passed it before Telegraph Brook? Yeah, I preferred Telegraph. We stopped at Wolf Brook?
Yeah, that's where all the old machinery was.
Yeah. That's a good spot. That is a good spot.
The reason I like Wolf Brook maybe a bit better is if it's really windy. There's two campsites there. Okay. There's one in the woods and one on the beach. The beach are about the same. Then there's you follow the brook and it's nice. Both are my favorite.
The Telegraph Beach?
Telegraph Brook or Beach.
Telegraph Beach is like just the most special place. We were there at low tide.
Yeah.
I put my pack down. I laid my head on the beach. I could hear the brook in the back. I could hear the ocean, the waves lapping up. The tide is moving. Quick.
It was moving in.
Louis goes, look at a rock there. And within a few minutes, it's completely submerged. The tide is, 10 meters right now, which is not a lot. But it can be up to 25 meters. And on a beach, that's like feet by the second, because you're moving. So it was just crazy how cool that was. I laid my head down. It was a sunny day. And I just napped there and I was just at peace, inner peace. No phone, no emails, no nothing. It was just special for me. What's next for Louis Cormier? What do you want to do?
Eat a fried clam.
Okay. Yeah, I've been hearing about this fried clam here since Friday.
They got the best fried clam here in New Brunswick.
The bar's been set pretty high. I'm not gonna lie. This fried clam, I don't know if I've ever had one.
No, you only get it around here. You don't get any fried clam anywhere else in the world. Other than that, I shouldn't put it on record. I'm not going to put anything.
No. Put it on. What would you like to do next?
I'm training for possibly the Chinook 2 this fall.
The Chinook 200? 100?
50 or 100, depending what kind of shape I'm in.
So that's just on the other side of the Bay of Fundy. Yeah. Where am I? Yeah, other side of the Bay of Fundy. In the Nova Scotia side.
Yeah, it's same kind of terrain that we went through a little bit.
That would be a lot. 100K in there?
Yeah, it's a little bit friendlier. Not as much roots, more flat spot, more runnable spot.
What do you want to do though? Okay, I know you talked about this weekend. We talked a lot. And one of the things you said was sometimes you just want to not race. A lot of times you want to not race.
I never want to race.
You're done racing.
I'm done racing. I just like to do one race a year.
Just to keep sharp.
Not to keep sharp, just to see that I'm still testing myself.
Yeah.
It's
fun to go to push yourself.
Yeah.
I know you push yourself here, don't get me wrong.
I didn't push myself.
But like the race, the concept of a race is, for me, I enjoy it. Okay, so you want to do one race a year. Okay, so what are the next big hikes or challenges you want to do? You've done a bunch of Ironman, done a bunch of 100Ks, you've done the Appalachian Trail, you've done this thing 15 times. What do you want to do?
I'm not sure. Like I was telling you, I've got the TIA on the radar.
The TIA Trail in New Zealand?
Or the Great Divide.
Great Divide, that's in
Alberta.
Alberta, East Coast there. It goes down to Montana? Or?
It goes from the U.S. border to Jasper. Or it keeps on going if you want to keep on going north.
How long is that one?
It's about 6-7 weeks.
Just like the TIA?
Yeah, about the same. It's the logistic that I don't like about that.
Booking campsites, and if you get delayed by 4 hours.
You got a lot of national parks and provincial parks, and you got to reserve in advance. And
This is so cool because you're in the back country, you're tired, you stop. There's no bookings. There's a little spot there for your tent. You put up your tent. I mean, there are some sites that are more coveted by the beach,
designated, but they're not.
But
you don't have to.
It's so cool. So cool. I love that about it. It's just go. What did you call it?
Go with the flow.
Well, make your own.
Embrace the sucks.
Embrace the suck. Yeah, I did that 2 weeks ago at Suffrun Centennial. I didn't find there was much suck here, but I could see if you get a downpour or we had a little bit of rain this morning, but I was in such a good mood the whole time. I was just thinking how happy I am to be out and to be alive and to be good.
The guy we met on the trail was not enjoying it like we were.
No, he looked like he was struggling. I hope he made it.
But most people we met, everybody's always so happy. Everybody you meet here, even him, he was happy.
Yeah, no, he was happy. He was just huffing and puffing and like arms on the poles and like it was a battle, I think. Last question for you, Louis. Who had more falls out of the two of us?
The way we had organized it is I was allowed 4 for one of yours.
Okay. And then you
because of your age.
Yeah, okay.
I'm way old.
How old are you now?
71.
71 years old. The guy
so you had 4 falls to 1.
Yeah, so then you beat
5 falls, you had 3.
Yeah.
You don't want, there's one you don't want to count, but I'm counting.
There's one I had one bad fall where I fell on my elbow and that was not a great fall. The other 2 were one was like just a little slip on the bum. One was not a fall. I put my hand on the path. It was sharp. I put my hand on the path. Nothing else touched. He says that's a fall. I go, no, it's not a fall.
The knee was down.
I don't think the knee was it down?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It was tight. It was tight. But no injuries, no big falls. Just I'd say fun falls.
Who had the best fall? I think you had the best fall.
Yeah, the worst. I'd say.
You were bleeding.
Yeah, a little bit of blood, a little bit of.
So that was
a little bit of scrape-a-roo here. Oh yeah, there's a little scrape.
Yeah.
And then he fell twice in the first 10 minutes. And I was like, oh my God, it's going to be and then he didn't fall after for till day 2. All in all, I just want to thank you, Louis. This was so fun. I flew in from Winnipeg to do this and it was the greatest experience. So thank you. And
you're most likely most welcome, and anytime you want to come back, I always love good company on the trail is better than the worst day on the trail is better than the best day in the office. So it's a nice trail.
It's a beautiful trail. Worst day on the trail is better than the best day in the office. You heard it here from Louis Cormier. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Louis. Appreciate it.
You're quite welcome.
Charlie, good to have you here. The Running Journey, another episode. What are we? Thursday, June 11th, 2026. 1 week till the Manitoba Marathon. Wow, that is coming up quick. 1 week till Pepe Jerry Run. How are you feeling about your chances at running a sub 4? Was it last week an exaggeration, or you?
2%.
I don't buy it.
I don't know. Not feeling good. We'll see.
Yeah, I went for a jog with Phil yesterday. It was my first run in probably a month. Yeah, and he goes, well, aside from the 100K you did, but yeah, that to me is not the same thing. It's not the same thing, but felt good to move a little bit. That's for sure. How are you doing? How are things?
All right. Pretty good. How about you? You went on a hike or something?
I did. I went on the Fundy Footpath hike. They need a better name for this trail.
Mm-hmm.
it'd be like if you called the Ontario the Peaceful Adventure Trail or something. The Fundy Footpath, when I hear it, it sounds easy. It sounds like something that we could all do on a Sunday afternoon with strollers and our kids and walking a dog. No, it was really cool. I did it in over 3 days. Okay. I did it with Louis Cormier. I talked about him last week. It is, for us, it was about 60 some kilometers. I want to say, what did I do? 18 on the first day. I did 23 and then like 18, 23 and 17. So it was 58 kilometers.
Okay.
So that, I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but I didn't really kind of understand what, like it was, it was a hike, right? And you got a backpack. Yeah. So have you ever done backcountry? Have you done hiking? Like I've done some hikes, like in Ireland and stuff, you go on a 4 or 5 hour hike. Have you done hikes?
One time when I was 9 or something, we lived in Marchand and with my cousins, I don't know, Carm and Jack.
Okay. Yeah. They get a rare shout out, Carm and Jack.
Point. Yeah. I think I remember we did one time.
But you've done some like on trips and stuff, like an hour or two hike to a little peak or to something like with your family or with Claude and Annette.
Oh, right. Yeah. We did one with Claude and Uncle Mo one time.
Okay.
That was a fun day. That was a good day.
Where was this?
Mountain, Phoenix.
Okay.
Like 2 hours maybe.
Yeah.
Walked to the top of a mountain and came back. A hill.
Like, oh yeah, your kids are too young yet. But as the kids get older, this is going to be something you're going to do on family trips.
Oh yeah, we did a hike in Slovenia with the kids. They loved it. I had the whole. Had like a carriage, like a. It's not a carriage, but it's like
a wagon, a stroller.
It's a stroller, but it's one of those strollers that I can hook up to my bike.
Yeah.
So we had it in Slovenia, and the trail, it's kind of like a dirt mud trail at some point, and it was kind of got hard to push the stroller, but it was this was just up to a castle and down. It was very, very short, not 68 kilometers, or how many kilometers was yours?
58.
Okay. And you step on the trail. And when I think of Bay of Fundy or Fundi, I think tides. But were there tides or how?
Yeah, there were the largest, highest tides on the planet.
Yeah,
on the planet. So normally they go from, what I've learned is something like 6 meters to like 25 meters or something. And I don't know the top number. All I know is this weekend when we were there, they were 9 to 10 meters.
So you had to swim a bit, part of it.
Well, that's the total up and down of the tide.
Yeah.
So 10 meters is, what would that be? Is that 4 stories, 5 stories? Yeah, that's crazy how.
One story is 3 meters, I think. So.
Okay, so 3 stories.
Yeah.
So 3 stories, and but you know this about tides is like a meter on the beach is not a meter. It might be like 100 meters, right? Because the beach is like angled.
It's all of Manitoba.
It's all of Manitoba. One tide would put all of Manitoba underwater. So, I mean, I didn't know that we had to time the crossings of the river. So basically what this hike is you start at the St. Martin trailhead, and it's the Fundy Footpath, and it goes on the edge of the bay, the ocean, I guess, not the ocean, the Bay of Fundy. And you're climbing up these, what would you call them? Cliffs, cliffs, 200-300 meter cliffs. And you're climbing up them. And then you have to cross a river. So you climb down, then you cross a river, then you climb up, climb down.
But you got to wait for low tide to cross.
At some of them, you have to be extremely careful as to when you're crossing. Some of them have very narrow crossing windows, some don't. But it was a lot of, I mean, I didn't worry about any of this because I just showed up. I had like the world's best guide. He has done this thing 15 times. He knows every nook and cranny in this place. I think it's probably like the Mantario. I've never done the Mantario. I don't know, but based on my research with Chad, it's probably something like that level of effort. Do you recall what Chad thought Mantario would take us? Like 18 hours if we did it in one day, but realistically, most people do it in 3 or 4, right? Is probably what people say about Mantario. And
I think it would take me way longer, but yeah.
So I think everything that I compared to, like the hiking time, the moving time, the elevation, I think it's comparable at some level to the Mantario. So I had a guy who's done this a lot. He's very passionate about it. He knows it inside out. So he knew all about the spots, and this is backcountry hiking, to be clear. So there is no road access in. There's no. So he does search and rescue also, Louis. So he was telling me that when he gets called out, let's say someone breaks a leg on this Fundy footpath. Well, they can't get out of there. Like you have to, so 10 people have to come with, a stretcher or whatever, one of these paddle boards, and they strap you in, and then 4 people do a stretch, and then 4 people do another stretch, and you're climbing mountains and you're going up, and it's an extremely long and arduous process to get someone out, to extricate someone out of this Fundy. You can't bring a helicopter in. You can't. Some spots you could bring boats in. So if you can make it to kind of a river, you can then. But it's really backcountry, really remote, I guess. Different than Suffern Centennial, because we had all those spots where we were kind of close to a highway most of the time, right? So it's really remote, and I actually love that about it. So I had no cell reception I didn't have any cell reception at any time. I put my phone on airplane mode, and from time to time I would try it and I wouldn't get any reception. So I was like, oh, them's the breaks. I love that about it. So it was it 18, 23? So yeah, 57 kilometers. We did it over 3 days. He had told me that the hike is 22 hours of hiking. He said, at my pace, it's about 22 hours of hiking. I said, okay, so we'll do that over. At first he said, you want to do that over 2 or 3 days? I said, 3 days. Let's do it a little slower. Well, my flight got delayed getting out there. So I didn't get to his place till it was 1 a.m. And we wanted to start that morning. So, and it's a 2-hour drive to the finish plus another hour to the start. So we had a 3-hour drive. So we didn't start we got up early, but we didn't start till noon on the day one. So it was a short day, but we went hard that first day. It looks like we did just under 1,000 meters of elevation, 18 kilometers. But I remember thinking, so the first 4 or 5 kilometers are flat. But after that, I remember thinking how long is this going to take us to do? Because I was looking at my watch, the pace that we were moving. These were 30, 35, 40-minute kilometers, 45-minute kilometers. Sometimes I'd see 60-minute kilometers on my pace. So I was doing 1 kilometer an hour if you're going straight up, or if you're going straight down. So I was just thinking, I'm never going to finish this thing. But as it turns out, I was just asking him, how are we progressing? He goes, perfect. We're right on pace. So all right, I'm guessing he's right. I'm guessing the last kilometers will be easier. And they were. It ended up being exactly 22 hours, exactly of 22 hours of hiking. My moving time, according to Strava, ended up being 18 hours. Okay. So we did some stopping, but I mean, I had never, so I had to carry my tent and your clothes and your food and your backpack and your sleeping bag and your air mattress and in a backpack. So guess what my backpack weighed?
32 pounds.
Oh, you're close. 29 pounds. So wow, I had
a lot.
Yeah, it started off at 29 pounds. Obviously I ate the food. I didn't know what I was doing. So I asked him for tips, what do I bring? And he said, don't bring, everyone brings way too much. We didn't even do stoves. So we had no stove. I treated it like an ultra. So I did bars, salami sticks, nuts, a jar of Nutella, dried mangoes. That's what I ate the whole time. It was actually really, really cool to eat that. But so we'd meet some people. We didn't meet a lot of people, but at night, usually we'd meet people at a little, there are some spots that are better known for campsites, but there's no formal campsites, right? You're just in the bush, you sleep wherever you want. But like this beach is super nice. So people want to sleep.
So your guide like had pre-decided where you guys were stopping or what?
No, he hadn't. He had an idea. Like he kind of knew the first day Salmon River would be a good spot. If we could make it to Salmon River, that'd be good. And by the time we got to Salmon River, it was like 8:30 p.m. He's like, we could go on, but I don't think that you want to set up your tent for the first time ever in the dark. I was like, dude, I don't know how to set up a tent. Like you have to set up my tent for me. And I say guide, he is a friend. It was Louis Cormier. But so these tents, Charlie, it's a Canadian made tent. They don't use any poles. So like, you know, those magnetic poles that you put, they use your hiking poles.
Okay. So
you put 2 hiking poles in the middle, diagonal across, and then your bed goes across diagonal, and you're sleeping like in a 1 foot wide little thing. I'd never set up a tent or a campsite like that or anything, but like by the time I set up my tent, he did pretty much all the work. By the time we set it up, and like I sat down, well, it was dark and I was wiped out. So I was like, all right, I'm going to bed, and slept like a baby. I slept the night before, Charlie. Mm-hmm. I treated this, I guess, a little bit like a race, I guess. I was nervous and I couldn't sleep. And I ended up just couldn't sleep the night before. I was so nervous about a hike. But once you get going and you're in the bush and you're climbing and you're seeing these huge, like the ocean and the Bay of Fundy and the tides and all these beaches, it was like spectacular. I loved it so much. It was like a full reset. It was exactly what I needed. And eventually I started kind of doing mini games with myself about it. So like whenever we get a climb, the climbs are about 200-300 meters. So whatever that is, the total climb for the whole thing is 3,300 meters. So it's 10,000 feet, but you'd get roughly 10 or 15 of these climbs that were 200-300 meters. And in between you'd do some other stuff, but like the major climbs, you're right in the side of a mountain, you're just climbing. And it's hard. But what I found is on the first day, I was very like scared and I was hesitant and I didn't want to get injured. But on the second day, I started treating them like mini races. Like the climb was a bit of a race for me. I wanted to see, like, get my heart rate up, like go push hard. I'd get my heart rate up to 150, 155. And it was like a fun hour or 45 minutes of climbing. Like it was like super fun. And then once I get to the top, we'd chill for a bit and then we keep walking. But like hiking is not running. You're hiking, right? You're walking. So it's totally different. I think you would have liked it. I kept thinking of you. I kept thinking of like the parents. I kept thinking of like Simo, and I kept thinking of people that we hang out with. And I think they would have liked this experience. The second day, it was the long day. I ended up doing 23 kilometers on that day. And we went right till it was dark, and 1,500 meters of elevation. But on that day, before we went to bed, I went, hey, Louis, what's the plan tomorrow? He goes, oh, tomorrow we have an easy day. It's like we're 4 or 5 hours from the end. And I was like, oh, okay, great. He says, yeah, you can sleep in tomorrow as late as you want. I'm going to get up early there because I always do. But you, Rob, you can sleep in as late as you want. All right. No alarm, nothing. I just went to bed at 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then the next thing I know, he's shaking my tent. Hey, are you alive? It was like almost 9 a.m.
Whoa. Okay.
I slept till almost 9 a.m. on a air mattress in the like on a homemade tent. Oh, I call them homemade tents. They're not tents like you and I think of tents. They're light, extremely light. There's 2 pieces. One is like just a tarp and one is just a little zipper thing that you wrap around yourself just so you have no bugs. But I had a 90, my best sleep score in like months. I've not been sleeping well, and I'm not HRV. Anyways, and then the last day, it was just a nice, easy day. It was kind of easy miles on the last day, 700 meters of elevation, just 17K into Fundy Park. So all in all, I absolutely love this thing, Charlie. I think you would like it too. I shouldn't speak for you, but I was thinking of you during the time. Like it was fun. It was It was like peaceful. The views were out of this world. Not to sound like my dad here, but the views were something else. And it's stuff we don't have here. Like we don't have tide crossings at rivers. Like that just doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have like cliffs that you walk to the edge of and you can see like the ocean. We don't have, these enchanted forests where it's just green as far as you can see. And there's these 150, 200-year-old pines and that are just, it felt like I was in BC there for some of it. We don't get any of that. And you're just walking through all these different things, something I've never seen. And like the climbs were fun. The climbs were super fun. And then what I found out after is Louis, what I would do is I would climb and then he would follow me. And on the way down, he was fast on the way down. Like he was way better than I was on the way down. Cause it's kind of like that skill that we don't have to run stuff on the Centennial. So it was not a run, not a endurance run, but it was just something fun to do in the bush by myself while with him. And the eating was fun, and the sleeping was fun, and the no phone was fun. So I really, really enjoyed it. And I was thinking, I think you and I need to go do the Montario, or whoever wants to go do the Montario with me. I want to go do it. I know we talked about it a few years back. But, and I don't think we need to do it in a day. I know you and I and Simo had talked about rushing through it and doing it in a day. But we could easily just backpack it in 3 days and like enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, potentially. It reminds me of the old canoe trips.
It's very similar to those old canoe trips, actually.
Yeah.
Similar
Were you guys making fires every night, or how was that happening?
No. So he's more of what I gather, he's more like us, like you and me would be. He's like less is more, like simpler. He doesn't worry about too many niceties and too many luxuries when he's out camping. He likes to be extremely light. Yeah. He's done the Appalachian Trail. So, I mean, obviously we could have done fires. There was wood at places. There were fire pits that had been, but by the time we got both nights, it was late both nights, and we chatted for a bit, kind of watched the stars, and then no, there was no fires. But the other people that I saw that were camping all had fires going, and they were like cooking.
Yeah, I just love fires, so
fires are fun.
I would make a fire, but yeah, okay.
I think what we would do if we had done it, you and I, we would have stopped maybe a little earlier, made a bit of a fire, and just the third day could have been a little longer, perhaps. But I would definitely do a fire with you if you wanted to, like just hang out, do a fire, and like just chill and tell stories. And it really felt like those canoe trips, except instead of paddling for 8 hours a day, we were walking for 8 hours a day. We're walking uphill with a backpack. I remember on those canoe trips, do you recall how you used to pack? Like it was just, I recall like a 5-gallon bucket, and we put our food and our sleeping bag and spare clothes in there, and we'd seal it so that if we fell off the canoe, it was airtight.
I don't remember too much.
Were you drinking then? I was drinking heavy. I know that. I don't think you were drinking.
Yeah, I don't know. But I remember that there were some hot dogs involved.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. I barely remember.
But like we'd make a fire, we would cook food or whatever. I remember I had like cans of ravioli and stuff. And
we would just put the cans right in the fire.
Right in the fire, and then we just eat that. So obviously I'm not eating, you're not bringing cans on this thing because it's way too heavy, right?
Cans would be too heavy, yeah.
You want like the most dense. So he basically just had nuts and like a jar of almond butter, and he had like a block of cheese.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's high fat though. I mean, so yeah, whatever. I mean, it might be good, but
I guess when you're walking,
almond butter would be pretty concentrated in terms of calories, but yeah.
Yeah, he just goes light, and that's what he does. We saw all sorts of people. Well, we didn't see all sorts of people. It was very remote. It wasn't like I think we saw 4 people on the first day and maybe 8 on the second, kind of thing. But the people that I saw, we would talk to everyone, right? We'd be like, oh, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're doing just this part, or we're doing just this, because you could divide it into a day or there and back, whatever. But the people that were doing the full trail, they had way, way, way more stuff than us. Like they were packing a lot heavier. So I think Louis' backpack was like 22 pounds or something all in with the food. I was at 28.
Wow.
So he had a much better backpack than me. He had like a high end one, I guess. And I had like a mountain equipment backpacker's backpack that he had sourced from me it was his backup or whatever. So mine was heavier to start. And then once I put the food in and everything, I had way more food than him. What I did for food, I just divided. I made 3 Ziplocs. In hindsight, this was stupid of me, but this is how I did it. I said, okay, I got dried mangoes, divided in 3. I got dates, divided in 3. I got salami sticks, divided in 3. I got 12 Cliff Bars, divided in 3. And that was it. That was my food. And I zipped them all up. And then I got, okay, day 1, day 2, day 3. Well, day 1, we were at his place and I had a huge breakfast at his house before I went out to the trail. So like, I didn't need like half my calories, or I didn't need them. Well, not half, but like, so, and then the last day we were out of the trail at 2:30. So like, I didn't need a supper on the last day. So really I was kind of there for 48 hours, 50 hours. So I didn't need to, I could have done it with less food, but my day 2 bag, like on day 2, I cracked my day 2 bag and I ate all of it. And at the end, like at supper time, I finished my day 2 bag and I was like, okay, that's good. And then after we hiked another 2-3 hours, and then I was like, I need to eat. So I dipped into my day 3 bag. So I think my packing wasn't that bad. Like I ended up with a tiny bit of food left over, but just because I had free meals that weren't accounted for. So, I mean, obviously whatever you bring, you carry. So you want to, and like fresh water, all these waterfalls, like they have all these waterfalls everywhere. So you just put your thing underneath and then they have a little filter on it and then you just squeeze it and then so you get water all the time.
Okay. And while you were going through it, were there any times where you were like, oh, this is hard, or I'm not sure if I want to like keep going, or was it kind of like moderately hard but like wasn't a big deal, or like how hard was it?
It wasn't hard for me. And I know I probably shouldn't say that because I'm sure it's hard for others, but I mean, I did a 100K race 2 weeks ago. I felt great the whole way through. There were times where I was like, this is a lot of climbing. Like first day. And I was like, does it get better? Does it get less climby than this? Like this is kind of a lot of climbing. But then I ended up making that game with the climbs. Like I was like treating them like every 2-3 hours, I'd get a 45 minutes of intense.
This is my workout. This is my workout.
Yeah. And I'd work hard up the hills, and then that was super fun. I actually would look forward to my climb. So,
but like was sorry, I forgot.
Louis?
Was Louis, like, was he slowing down for you, or was he like, were you dictating who was dictating the pace?
So the first day the first couple hours, he was ahead of me and I was just following. Yeah. And then he said, and I was having kind of no real problem on the downhills, he would gain on me because he's more agile. He's better.
Well, what, you guys weren't together the whole time?
We were together, but like if we'd hit a long downhill over 30 minutes, he might gain 20, 30, 40, 50 meters on me.
Yeah. Okay.
He was sometimes out of sight. And he'd wait for me and I'd come. He was, in my opinion, faster than I was on the downhill. Yeah. But then he said, hey, do you want to lead for a bit? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to lead because you have to watch for the blazes, right, on the trail. So they spray paint a tree, a little white marking on a tree. And then as soon as you see that, you look for the next one. And then
centennial.
I guess this is how they mark trails. I don't know. I learned this. And then for this trail, if there's 2 blazes, it's a turn, or it's like a heads up. It's not obvious. So it's like you need to have your head up when you see 2 blazes, because it's like, oh, it's here. It's not here. It's actually a tad off. So I would routinely telling stories, just chit-chatting, and be like, shit, when's the last time you saw a blaze? He'd be like, hey, Rob, when's the last time you saw a blaze? And I'd be like, I don't know, man. He'd be like, all right, let's go back. So we'd go back to the last blaze that we saw, and then we'd go, oh, yeah, missed it. It's this way. So then we'd go that way. So he like, I started leading kind of midway through that first day, and I actually started enjoying it. I really enjoyed it, because then you have to be mentally sharp. You have to be focused. He said something like he lets first timers lead because they love it. They end up loving leading. So I ended up leading the entire rest of the way. And I love that aspect of it. I would be a little faster than him on the ups by choice. He's like, I don't need to go a million miles an hour up the uphill. And then he'd be faster than me on the downhill. We ended up doing exactly his pace, 22 hours, which is kind of what he thought it would take us. And I think we were both kind of feeling great. I was a little worried about injury and stuff, right? It was like, how am I going to feel on this thing? But the whole time, Charlie, I just felt awesome. The whole time I felt awesome. I felt like my cartilage and my ankles and my knees and my hips were like being unwound. Yeah. And I just felt like I was stretching and flexing. It's almost like I trained for 3 days.
Yeah.
To do this. So I would, and we met one of his buddies on the trail, Jason, I think his name was. And he said, he runs also. He also runs. He says he doesn't start running until he does one of these. He needs to get a footpath or two under his belt to like loosen up the cartilage before he can go do a 10K jog, because he deals with injuries a lot. So he says he uses this to like as a warm up to be able to run after. I like that aspect of it because I think you and I both. I'll speak for myself. I don't feel like I'm nimble enough to be like a trail runner, and I don't feel like I'm nimble enough to be like a hiker, a good hiker. But this was. I mean, we weren't running, right? We never ran, so who knows how my feet would have reacted if I would have run. But it was great for the muscle, the mind, the body. I felt zero soreness whatsoever. I mean, I didn't run.
Yeah.
But like Louis was telling me, and like the people we saw on the trail, like people train to do this. Like people will train 6 months or a year to just be able to complete it. Mm-hmm. And we saw one guy on the trail with his he was with a buddy. We saw the buddy first, and they were doing the whole thing. We saw them on our late second day, so they had just kind of started, and they were on day 2 of 5, I think. Mm-hmm. And then we saw the other guy, and he was a much bigger guy. And I remember like seeing his backpack. His backpack was like over his head, like just filled. Because the catch-22 is if the longer you take to do it, the more food you have to carry, right? So if you want to slow down your pace and you want to take 5 days instead of 3 days, that's great, but you have to carry now an extra 2 days worth of food.
Yeah.
So that's one of the catch-22s. Anyways, this guy, I don't know if he made it out, but he looked like he was suffering. So I guess some people, like obviously for some people, this would be I was thinking of the parents, like our parents. I was thinking like, could Claude and Annette do this today? And I didn't know the answer. Like, I think they can. I don't know. I don't know if they'd ever want to, but I think it would be a very good challenge for Claude and Annette.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
And for kind of anyone and I know they run and they're in shape, but like, I think the climbing the elevation would be tough on them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So like in terms of enjoyment, and how was it different from running, and like what was the like scenery? Is there any moment in terms of like things that were just scenery you'd never seen before that were like kind of remarkable, or that you noticed? Yeah,
so I liked the beaches. So every, I don't know, 4 or 5K, there was a gorgeous beach. I also like the cliffs. Like when you're on the edge of a cliff way up and there's no rope because it's so remote and you're just kind of staring to your death or whatever. I'm scared of heights. So like I wouldn't go close to the edge, but Louis was like right on the edge, and that is cool. I didn't see all the views because I was scared.
I wouldn't be going anywhere close to those edges.
No, and there were sometimes, Charlie, where you're walking up the side of a mountain, you're doing these switchbacks, and you're just going up and back on the side of a mountain, and the path is like 8 inches wide, and every foot has to be at the right spot, because if you miss, you're sliding down and you're breaking something, or I mean, there were times when I was a little stressed out. But I'll say this. It was my favorite spot by far, far, far was this spot called Telegraph Beach. We went at low tide and we were a little ahead of schedule. So we just took our backpacks off and I went for a swim in a waterfall there. And I just went to the beach. It was like 25, sunny, low tide. And all of a sudden the tide started coming in and you could see it with your eyes. You could visibly see the tide moving with every wave. With every wave you could see, because the beach is flat. So it's like, it moves further up on the beach. It's a very long beach. And I sat there and I took a little nap. I put my hat down. I said, Louis, do we have time here? He said, do whatever you want. I crushed a nap there, just listening to the ocean, listening to the waterfall, the lap, and just not a care in the world. That was my most special moment. Telegraph Beach. If you're going, I highly, highly recommend a stop at Telegraph Beach. Not sure if I answered your question. I think I did.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd have any interest in doing something like this?
Yeah, I think, if I would have to have some time. So, but yeah.
Yeah, the flying out there and the flying back's not ideal, but like if like Ontario, I think is probably somewhat comparable. If we did Ontario like that, I think that would be fun. You asked me about if it was enjoyable, like and I really, really, it was a totally different type of enjoyment. Like when you run, there's that, well, I don't know. I was trying to put my finger on what it is about running I enjoy when I was doing this thing, because I was like, I'm enjoying myself right now, but why? Why am I enjoying myself? Is it like, what is it? It's different, but it's like a cousin or a distant relative of a run. Like I wasn't enjoying myself because of the view, because of the beaches, which were also neat. But while I was doing it, I was enjoying myself. So I think it's kind of like, for me, I knew this day I would ask him, how many kilometers we want to do today? And he'd go, I'd like to hit 23, 24. Okay. So then it was like, that was my marathon. That was my ultra, if you will. But like, except the kilometers were taking forever to disappear. So I guess it's a little bit of like the reaching a goal, accomplishing a goal, like this extended time piece that you're trying to, kind of like an ultra. You're going to be out there for 8 hours and you just got to get through it. Except it was just way more enjoyable, I guess. I actually thought about during the whole time, like, how long would it take me to do this in one shot? Like, could I do this? Because Louis' record, I think, is 16 or 17 hours. But the FKT, fastest known time, I think, is 11 or something, or 10. But if you take the last chunk out, the toughest 50, someone did it in 6:20, I think, 6.5 hours, 6 hours and change. I was just blown away. The same way I'm blown away by, Scott Dodds' time at Suffer. So that first 50 on Suffer, what do you think is the best time on that? Is it like 4 hours, 5 hours?
The first 50? Well, it's whatever Scott did. It's going to be more, probably 4.5 or 5.
But it's comparable. It's a tad slower than Suffer, but it's like comparable. But there's just, I was thinking, like, could I FKT this? I kept thinking, I couldn't. I know I couldn't FKT it, but like, what would a Rob Tatro 1 day run look like? And I was thinking, okay, running vest, you just load up with gels. You do it in 1 day, so you have to carry a backpack. You don't have to carry a tent. You don't have to carry a sleeping bag. But then I was thinking, I don't think I want to do that, actually. That's another Suffer on the Centennial, but harder. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, sorry.
Yeah, that would be extremely hard.
Like it's 60K. Like, I don't think I could do it in much faster than 14, 15 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't think I want to do that. I think if I want to do a race for 14, 15 hours, I think I want it to be a road race. No?
No, I think a road race would be way harder.
Yeah.
To do for that long. because
you're right.
You basically have no excuse. You have no excuse to stop running if you're on the road.
Maybe that's what I like about it. It's like the purest mental test that exists. The purest, like you have no excuse. Like you have to keep going.
Yeah. Yep.
So Ontario opens like I think in July. So I'm going to plan on doing it at some point this year. I think 40% of the trail got burnt with the wildfires last year. If someone is listening and has an idea for what other hike would be fun for me to try, something like the footpath, Fundy Footpath Trail, Fundy Footpath Path. I don't know what it's called. Fundy Footpath, maybe it's just. Mm-hmm. I'm all ears. If you have an idea, by all means, send it to me because I know that my buddy Mark Van Hees said the West Coast Trail, which is like 75K on Vancouver Island, that apparently is nice. Joel just did it, Joel Taves. But
so where would you rate this experience among all the things that like you've done?
Well, I think because it's different. Like it was, like obviously I had more fun. I shouldn't say obviously. I had more fun doing my first Ironman. But really? That was like different kind of fun. I don't know how I'm, maybe, I don't know if I'm saying this right. It was a blast. Like I loved it. I loved it. I didn't think I would love it this much. But like when maybe that's not the right word. I think I had more fun doing this than my first Ironman, but I think what I got from it might not be as much as I got from my first Ironman.
Keep going. I need a minute here, but keep going.
Okay. So I think if I look at so my backyard, my sub threes, they're all different. And some of them you get like fun in the moment from it. Some of it you get like, while I'm doing it, this is so fun. But most of those are type 2 funs where you end up enjoying it the day after and you tell yourself you're never, ever going to do this again. And then you set a reminder in your phone. Do not ever register for Suffer on the Centennial. Set a monthly reminder. And then the next day you're like, no, that's crazy. I didn't want to put that reminder, and you want to delete the reminder. But this was, I guess I'm grasping here because I've been thinking a lot about this little hike that I did over the weekend, and it was incredibly enjoyable while I was doing it. Less hard for sure than those other big races, less type 2 fun than those, but probably more in the moment fun because you're doing fun stuff the whole time. I guess depends what you want to do. I think I would like to do this once or twice a year, maybe once a year as like a 3-day thing. And you bring your tent and you sleep in the bush and you look at the stars and hopefully you get good rain and good weather, no rain. And then afterwards you're like, man, I got to spend all this time in my own head and thinking about life and I'm at peace with everything now. And you walk out of the bush feeling like a new man.
You feel like a new man?
I feel like a new man. I do.
Well, that's good. That's awesome. What about doing it with Louis? How was that?
Oh, he was.
Anything you want to talk about that there?
Well, this guy did the Appalachian Trail, and he's done a couple other of these. Like, so he did it in 117 days. The Appalachian Trail. It's part of it is like this apparently, but it's I don't know. Is it 3,000 kilometers? I don't know how many kilometers. It's a lot of kilometers, whatever it is. But the guy is just an encyclopedia of knowledge, like on backpacking and on this particular path. I was thinking afterwards. So he told me about this thing and I said, all right, I'll come do it. And then he had my pack, my tent, my air mattress, my stuff. He made me a food list. He made me a packing list. He made me a clothes list. He made me where to, he gave me a little guidebook. He sent me the map ahead of time. He kind of acted as a guide. I think he could actually sell this experience if he wanted to. I don't think he wants to, but he could. He told me how much he loves taking first timers out on the trail. He's so passionate about this trail. He told me how much he loves taking first timers out because he sees like them experiencing this for the first time. It kind of be like me and you maybe pacing a first sub 4 attempt. Like it's really cool, right? That first time when you're pacing someone and they're going through that. He could sell this experience because he took us there. So his wife dropped us off at the start line and then at the we dropped the vehicle off, then we hopped in with his wife, then she drove us to the, so there's logistics, right? Because you got to leave 2 cars. And he handled all of that. And then at the end, we walked out, he dropped me off at my hotel. Like he could sell this package and I would have paid. I would have, not that he wants my money, but I'm just saying that I would have, because it's a very, very bespoke custom experience that he's providing. Like it's really, really cool. You don't have to worry about anything, the bears, and he knows the tides, and he knows all the stuff that people wouldn't know. So if you're listening, Louis, I think you should consider selling this experience as a package, and then it would allow you to do this thing 2-3 times a year with complete strangers. And I think you would love it because you could share your knowledge with them and you would gain all the joy, and they would get all this joy from you. And you know that they'd be serious if they're ponying up, I don't know, whatever, $500 or something to do this over 3 days with you. And it's worth at least that, in my opinion. So yes, he was awesome. I got to hear a whole bunch of news stories that I hadn't heard. And he actually texted me today and he's like, I've been thinking, and you got me motivated to rewrite my book. So, because I was like, well, how come I didn't hear this story in the book? And he'd go, yeah, you're right. Well, I didn't have a chance to tell all the stories. And so he told me that. I don't know if he's going to work on his book or what, but I guess he got something out of it too. So it was great with Louis. It was fun. It's kind of weird because I'm 44. He's my dad's age and we don't really know each other, right? We just, we ran a few times together and then we spent 3 days together in the bush. It was awesome.
Anything else on this?
No, I'll wrap this up and then we could talk a bit about.
Would you do it again? Was there a lot of time for introspection and those things? Yeah.
I would do it again, but this is almost like an ultra. I kind of want to do them all, right? I want to do a different ultra. I want to do a different backyard. I want to do a different marathon. I really enjoyed it though. I would do it again. Like if, let's say mom and dad were to listen to this and they go, you know what? I want to do this next year. Would you come with us? I'd go, I'm in. They'd have to train and they'd have to whatever, and I'd do that. And I'm not saying they should want to do this by any stretch. I'm not. I would do it again if the right person would want to do it with me. I loved it that much. And then introspection, well, there was a ton of time for introspection, but it's like the quiet self-introspection, I think is kind of reserved for like at night on the beach when or at your campsite or in your tent. But I mean, I was tired. So I was sleeping. I guess it did take a chunk out of me a little bit because I was sleeping.
So you slept well the whole time? I slept
so good, Charlie. So good.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Louis, he's up at 5 or whatever. He's like, oh, sleep in however late you want. And I'm sleeping till 9.
So Louis is up for 4 hours on his own. No fire.
Just
I hope he's got a book or something. Like, oh my God.
He gave me this little book, this guidebook about the path. And I was reading, like I would read it. Like it's at all the different stops. And it was neat to see all the different
wildlife. Did you guys see any wildlife?
We saw a bear.
Classic
bear. And people were telling me like, oh, what are you scared of? This question would come up and they would ask Louis if he was scared of bears. He'd go, bears? I'm not scared of bears. Bears, black bears, I should clarify. He is scared of grizzlies.
Well, yeah, everyone says that, yeah.
But like black bears, I'm not scared of black bears. And he says, I'm more scared of polar bears. Yeah, Churchill, Manitoba.
Yeah, he says, I'm worried about those.
They're big.
He says, they're really, they're like, I don't know, ferocious. They're the predators, these polar bears.
I've seen some in my life when I went to Churchill with Venus, and it was something else. Polar bears and belugas we saw. We should do the Churchill marathon at some point. I know we have a million runs that we have to do, but that one's on our list too, Charlie. That's the one where there's like an ATV that follows you with a gun, and if the bears come in.
Yeah. No, I know. There's a gun. Yep. There's a gun involved.
It's what's his face from Steinbach? Abe Friesen? Abe Penner? Abe.
There's another guy I barely know from curling that did it.
Okay. This is the guy who organized it. And I probably have both of those names wrong. It's probably not Abe and it's probably not Friesen or Penner, but
Jim. James.
It might be Jim, and it might be like
Jeff. Craig?
No, it's closer to an Abe. It's a short name, Craig. Jim.
Albert
Friesen. That's his name.
Okay.
That's his name.
Got
That's
it.
the guy who organized it. Anyways, Louis was saying he's more scared of ticks than he is of bears.
Yeah.
And I was like, ticks? I was like, I get them every single time I go to Marchand, all the time. He's like, but like they carry disease, and those are. So when I got back, I had one on me, like when I landed in Winnipeg, and I sent him a photo, and I was like, oh, I got a tick. And I think he was a little surprised that I didn't take it off beforehand. Or maybe I got it here. I'm not sure where I would have gotten it here, but perhaps got in the lawn. We saw a bear. So that we were camping the second night, and it was like in the distance. And at first I was like, oh, there's a group. Then Louis like, that's not a group. I was like, you're right. What is that? It was like a black shadow kind of walking across. And I'm like, there's no trail there. And then it just kind of went into the bush where there's no, like up a mountain. And I was like, huh. Yeah, we saw a bear. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Could have been, what else could it have been? He's convinced it was a bear. So, I mean, I trust his judgment. What else do we see? The biggest snake he's ever seen, in his words, it was like this fat, gorged up snake had just eaten a raccoon or something. It was just a monster snake. And then we saw all sorts of other stuff that you would imagine. He knew all the trees too. Like, that's a white polar ash. No, he knew them in French. So I don't know the names of the trees in French. Some of the names I didn't even know were names in French. But like, he's just an encyclopedia of knowledge. So it was good to hang out with. Anyways, it was a fun time, Charlie. Highly recommend. And looking to do a different one with someone else at some point. Ontario. I think I want to start with Ontario, which obviously means, and like these merino wool clothing, I've talked about it ad nauseum here, but I just want to remind people, like walking through water. And everyone had so my feet were dry all the time because of these merino socks. But also he told me one of the last messages is don't forget your camp sandals. So camp sandals, like for walking around a camp, you want to keep your shoes off so that those are your hiking shoes. And then and plus whenever you're doing river crossings, I think we did 5 river crossings, you want to have like Crocs or sandals or something, right?
No, you just wear the Nordas. The Nordas, they're impervious to water. Just
I know. They would have been perfect, but I didn't bring the Nordas. I brought the Lone Peak Ultras, which were unbelievable. 0 blisters, 0 chafing, 0 pain, 0. Like I'm either very, very lucky or I'm doing something right, but I'm appreciative that I don't blister or chafe or get injured. Or this was fun to go through this, but so I didn't have camp shoes, so that meant that I had to do the crossings barefoot, and it was fine for the first 2 or 3, but there was the big one at Goose Creek or Goose Island, or I forget what it was called. That one was a long crossing.
Well, I would definitely just wear the Nordas and right through the water. They're impervious to water.
If I had my Nordas, I would have for sure done that, but I decided to wear these Lone Peak Ultras.
Is there hiking shoes or what?
They're hiking shoes, yeah.
They got like a big boot, or how do they look like here?
No, they look like trail running shoes. Joel Taze had recommended it to me a while back when I was doing my first trail run. He said, you need a decent pair. So I bought them, and I did a 80K in the Rocky Raccoon. I did with those things, and I liked them. I absolutely loved them on the weekend. They were perfect, but I didn't have shoes. So when I showed up, I go, Louis, I forgot my camp shoes. He goes, aren't you the guy who's got the Guinness record for fastest barefoot triathlon? I said, yeah. He says, I'm not worried about you. I said, okay. I'm not worried either then, if you're not worried. Because I was like, I didn't choose to not bring them. I forgot them. So once he's like, I'm not worried about it. I said, okay, I'm not worried about it either. He's pretty chill. He's perfect for this. Like, I think him and I are very, very much alike. Like, my salami fell on the ground. okay, eat it. Like, eat your salami.
Well, you can't leave it for the bears.
No, you can't. It was good. We weren't stressing out about anything. No stressing out, just good vibes. Okay, Charlie, are we all ready for anything else you want to ask me, or we just want to do a recap for our event next week and a quick touch on Project 4 if you want?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Okay, so our event next week is Monday, June 15th at Devil May Care. It's a great spot. I swung by it the other day. I checked it out. It's perfect. We're going to have the one side, it's going to be great. So come one, come all to that. First drinks on us. Devil May Care. Cocktails 6:30, podcast 7, Monday, June 15th. Also, do you want to give a Project 4 update for Donnie or anyone that you're how are they handling their taper?
So Donnie he couldn't do his long run on Sunday, so he did it on Monday evening. It was successful, I think. So it all going to come down to me, there's no locks here. I've been looking at I thought it was more, it's hard to run marathons.
It is very hard to run marathons. So
I think it's going to be nip and tuck for both of them, for both Gord and for Donnie. So Donnie did a borderline PR at Fargo 147.5, which is right around that 4-hour expected marathon time. It was super hot. It looks like it's cooling down in Manitoba, which is good news for people running the Manitoba Marathon.
Oh, yeah. Are the long-range forecasts?
It's starting to look cooler. Gord ran a 1:36 half on his own after his car got smashed. So that's like right around the 3:30 mark. So it's all nip and tuck with these guys. It'll be close. So it'll be interesting to follow along. Hopefully I can pace him for the first 10K and then.
I think there's so much of this is going to depend on the type of day we get. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, if you get a perfect day where it's like 3 degrees, then I think there's a really good chance, but that's not going to happen. It's going to be warmer than that. So it's where within that range. So like a plus 25 day might be extremely hard. Yeah, probably no one gets it. So it depends where in between those two extremes, I think. There's always luck in marathons. So it'll be exciting.
That's the one thing about, I'm so jacked for these 4 runners. That's one of the things that's cool about the WFPS, and you always say it. It's like you're guaranteed good weather. Well,
pretty much. It's always like between -2 and +5 to start.
Like and it's also another thing about these fall and spring major marathons. Boston can be hot some years, but largely
because they start so late, Boston. But yeah,
you get your much better chance to get good weather. Like this weather wild card for the Manitoba Marathon really is like for runners that are just Manitoba runners, it probably doesn't cross their mind how much of an impact.
So when I started running, I remember researching the Manitoba Marathon, and you would research and it would say, it's a flat course, very easy, you can get PRs because it's very easy. But that to me ignores the real weather's more important than course. Anyways, yeah.
And the runners, like some of them probably don't even realize it, how lucky you are to get a good, like I've been so lucky on a lot of my races, like to just get really good weather. And hopefully we get great weather, and I hope we do. But if we don't, like that could mean that half the people don't hit their targets on that day or more. But regardless, I am excited to hear their story. I'm excited to interview all of them on Monday at Devil May Care. And then we got, like right after that, we got a few things. There's the Old Tom, and there's Run with Rob is starting. Anyways, there's a bunch of activities after. So it's going to be a busy time on the podcast. But for now, all hands on deck, focus on Manitoba Marathon, Phil is pacing 3:45. You're pacing 4, and I'm pacing 3:30. Our own little pacing team.
Sorry. So I didn't know someone was doing 3. Is Jen doing 3:45 now?
No, Phil is pacing.
Danny. Sorry.
Danny from our run club. So, and Marty. Some of those guys might join us too, right? Like Marty might join Phil, and Grant might start with you. I don't know if he's talked to you, or I don't know. If you want to run with us, you're invited by all means. Why the squinting face? No, you don't like that?
I don't think I can do it.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't think I can. Dude, I have to do a 3:30, man.
Yeah. No, but yeah, we'll see. I think
you might pull the chute.
No, I mean, I registered, but like there's a 4-hour pacer already, and I really don't know if I can do it. So,
okay, but I mean, worst case, you pace what you can at a good 4-hour pace for them, and then you just peel off.
Yeah, I go and have some hot dogs.
Yeah,
call it a day.
Do you want to touch this hot dog marathon thing? Because you and I both did the exact same thing.
Yeah,
I believe you can complete a marathon and understand.
Yeah, but then I asked ChatGPT about the training and like I asked ChatGPT about the strategy for this, and we're
talking about the 26-mile marathon hot dog.
Yeah. So, and started regurgitating lines about like make sure your glycogen levels are loaded and stuff. I'm like, the glycogen levels don't matter for this. You want to be empty almost, I would say, right?
Yes.
Because anyway, so there's a lot of strategy behind this. It's a lot harder than it sounds, I think, when you think about it. It's so ChatGPT thinks it's like a 30% or 70, forget if it's 70 or 30% that I actually completed.
I think we had the same number for both of us.
Yeah.
I think it was 70, wasn't it for you?
Oh, maybe. I don't remember, but yeah, so it's not not a lock, this thing.
The 26 hot dogs over the course of one marathon. But does this scare you into not trying it? I still
No. That makes me want to try it even more. The fact that it's not a lock.
And the fact that we will both be gunning for the Guinness record on the backstretch there, on the home stretch. Like Secretariat. Like Secretariat at the 71 Belmont Stakes.
We'll be like rolling across.
I mean, are you running the last mile? Are you able to run the last
mile? How much of a big positive? 13 hot dogs in the first half. It's ridiculous. This thing doesn't make any sense. The more
it's not doable, you think?
I think.
Wow.
So eating 26 hot dogs to me is doable on its own. Running a marathon on its own is doable.
Thanks, Captain.
I don't know if they're doable at the same time. Anyways.
I don't know, but I definitely want to expend more mental energy on this topic. I definitely want to. Maybe I should reach out to Guinness and apply for a category classification just to see what they say.
Fastest marathon while eating one hot dog every mile.
Yeah, and they could draft it up however they want there, make the rules, but like
then they would tell us the rules and then we would follow it.
Yeah, because it takes a good 3 months to get that. You could fast track it a little bit, but you pay $100.
We could target mid-August, September maybe. Yeah. Minneapolis.
I'm
Hamilton.
I think we owe ourselves a favor for the greater good of society and for humanity to see if this is doable. Maybe someone else there has already done it. Okay, so we'll wrap it up there. Charlie, anything else you want to add?
Well, I just got a text from my buddy Simo, so it made me think about the Birdsall duathlon. I guess.
Oh, yeah.
They should have waited a week to have it.
What were the results? Who won? How did it go? I don't even know.
So Teron Baker, I don't really know him, but he can run. So like a 16-something 5K and then a 37 10K. It was a duathlon. So his 5K run, 40K bike, 10K run. His last 10K was 37. Wow, amazing. And then Simo, he almost went sub. He must have gone sub 1 hour on the bike.
He went 1 hour, 0.14 seconds on the bike.
But with T1, right?
So, with T1, yeah.
So that's crazy because that's a tough course.
This bike by a mile over everyone else.
To me, like doing that in St. Malo is one thing, but then doing it in Birds Hill, that's a different story. Yeah. So
he's 4 minutes faster than anyone else.
Yeah.
And 4 minutes faster than the guy who won the race.
Simo, just learn to run, buddy, and then you'll be a great triathlete.
4 on 60. Like he's like 7% faster than anyone else in this race on the bike.
Yeah.
Wow. 48 minute 10K after. That cost him a bit, but solid fourth place. Our buddy Labby finished third. And I guess Victor didn't race?
No, he would have been right up there, I think.
DNS, right next to Rob Tatro, DNS.
Yeah. So the other news with me is I'm going to be reunited with my coach starting next week.
Okay. Care to share or just you're moving in that direction? It's like a press
release. I felt like just doing everything on my own was just putting too much of a mental load on me. And so to me, it's going to be nice to kind of share that responsibility of, I felt like maybe the accountability is being just me. I felt like too much of a mental load on me to, so now I can kind of share the responsibility with my coach. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think I would echo those statements. I couldn't do it. I could not. I like that little.
I love the creativity of like doing my own plans and stuff like that. But at the same time, like managing the load and all that, I think it requires an outside eye. So I'm happy to start again.
Cool. Awesome. Well, welcome back, Patrick Peacock Endurance. And we can talk more about that next week. We'll wrap it up here, guys. So thanks. We'll see you guys on Monday at Devil May Care Brewery if you're in Winnipeg, Monday the 15th, 6:30 cocktails, podcast at 7. We will interview all members of the podcast of the Project 4, as well as we will take questions from the crowd. Resident expert who says he can't run a 4-hour marathon. Charlie Tatro is going to answer questions for you as well as me. We could talk about the hot dog marathon, all you guys want, Monday. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. More miles, less pace. See you in the next episode.